Do celebrities get that? Do they get negative stuff thrown in their face?
It is by far one of my greatest challenges in life. I am past the point where I need to front.
Oh, online, or you mean in person? Like IRL, people get or is that no? That's keyboard warriors. That's the problem.
For me, most of the problem is keyboard warriors because I find in person people see a human being. Right. They're looking at you, and even if they disagree, they'll have a conversation. They'll hear you. They can't run away. Whereas on Twitter, they'll say something, and then that's it. They're gone, and there's no accountability. But it is tough. The online stuff, people's opinions constantly being judged. I think I went through a period of time where I fronted for a while, and I was like, I have thick skin, it doesn't bother me. And then I turned 30 and I was like, I think my feelings are hurt.
Wouldn't they have to be?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Who would be like, no, I'm fine?
I think some people might have thicker skin than me, but I've come to terms with the fact that sometimes I'm sensitive. And especially when it's something I care about. Like, if I get hate about my sexuality or the color of my skin, or I get a lot of we get it, you're a woman. I don't know how to reconcile with that because how do I change that?
Where do you think that? Well, I mean, you can be changed. There are surgeries.
Of course, but I'm saying I don't want to change that.
That's a fair point.
That's
how do you? I mean, what's the thing that someone said to you that what hurts? When someone says that, out of all, because there's so many things that people can say about anybody, but it's they're oh my gosh, that really.
I'm gonna give you a very vulnerable answer that I've never given anyone else before, just because you've brought me in this room with all these nice gallery walls, and now I'm here and I feel like I owe you something. Something that really bothers me, and I think it's because I'm so passionate about it, is, like I mentioned, I'm trying to pave a path for South Asians. I'm trying to make it so the next person doesn't have to fight as hard as I fought in some of these rooms. I can't do everything though, and I have my own lived experiences, and so I have my own way of talking, of dressing, of doing things, because that's what I know. And every once in a while, I'll get a South Asian person, a Punjabi person being like, sell out, you do nothing for us, you do nothing for our community. It's actually the hate from our own community that bothers me the most, because I care so deeply about that community.
Right, because that's who you are.
And it's a thing a lot of people face. I've spoken to lots of other actresses and talent about this, that their own communities are their biggest supporters and critiques.
Biggest detractors.
Exactly, and I think it stings a little bit more. Always feels a little nicer too, but also stings a little more.
Oh, interesting. They don't feel like you do enough.
They don't feel like I do enough, or I'm not doing it how they might do it, or the way they want it to be done.
How do they want it to be done?
I think in a way that aligns with their upbringing, right? I think one of the hard parts of being a minority is that inevitably you're representing so many people. There's over 1 billion Desis.
Which is why a friend of mine always says, let's stop calling ourselves minorities.
Exactly.
Because we're not the minority.
But my experience growing up is gonna be still different from yours, because we're still individuals, right? So when I'm making my YouTube videos and I'm talking about how my parents raised me and the things they might say to me and how strict they were, I'm just talking about my experience.
Right.
But I'll get a comment being like, stop portraying Indian parents like that. Mine are nothing like that. And that's where I'm like, it doesn't mean that mine aren't though. So it's tough when you're representing so many people. And it's also tough when there's so many causes in the world. I think one of the tough things today is that everyone's really passionate about causes, whether it's, the very important farmer protest, whether it's women's education, whether it's about X, Y, Z. I'm still one person, I can't solve everything. And I think people, when there's only a few of people that look like you in the spotlight, you are kind of pressured to solve everything.
Sure.
Do
you think that'll change?
Absolutely not.
I love the optimism.
Absolutely
That's great.
not.
Should it change? Or is there a point to that?
Realistically, I don't think it will. And part of my healing process has been understanding where that person is coming from. Wow. They are so frustrated because there is no one talking about the thing they care about, and I'm the closest person that could talk about it, and I'm not doing it as well as they could do it. So I have to understand where their frustration comes from.
They've got an all lives matter point.
You know what I mean?
My cause matters too.
I'm a firm believer that everyone has a chip on their shoulder, and it's beautiful, and it is specific to them. Mine is, I really am about gender equity. I care about a lot of causes, but for me, because of my life and my experiences, I'm I know firsthand what it feels like to be born a girl in a South Asian family that was a disappointment, and that's real
Because
stuff.
of your sexuality?
No, because I was a girl.
Oh,
because I'm not right from the get-go, right? So when you are raised with that, that's a very real thing that has followed me through my life. And so that is the chip on my shoulder. I will proudly say, I'm all about gender equity. I'm all about paving the path for women. So yes, I can lend my voice to other causes I really care about, and I will, but I can't stand for everything.
Right,
you know what I mean?
You fall for anything, as they say.
There you go. Google that quote, folks. it'll say author Rajiv.
It will. Just like this, where it says good artist borrow, great artist steal, and it's me. I'm very proud of that.
I have a big gap of knowledge. That's another thing. A lot of people, I have a big gap of knowledge because also the first movie I ever watched was a Bollywood movie. The first song I ever listened to was a Bollywood song.
Wow.
And so until I was about like 9, 10, that was all of my knowledge.
Wow.
Of the world.
What was the movie and what was the song?
Hum Aapke Hai Kaun
Oh, okay.
was the
big
first
one.
Bollywood movie I ever saw.
Banger.
Banger.
Banger of a movie.
Right,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure. First song that I loved from there would have been the.
Oh, come on, I
There's
should
a whole
know
bunch.
this.
There's a Didi Tera Devar
Okay.
Diwan, and there's a Maini Mai where she does this pose.
Yeah.
So in all my baby pictures, I'm just doing this pose like
Oh.
Madhuri, 100%.
Have we seen this? Has the world seen this picture?
When I met Madhuri, I did the same pose with her. I did a side by side.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But that's a lot of people make references
Right.
from the 90s, and I'm like, I haven't seen some really popular effing movies.
So that's one of my questions is
Yeah.
what's a movie you haven't seen that everybody else has? Are you like, people like, no, bro, you haven't seen?
Okay, I'm gonna say this, and I feel like everyone's gonna kick me out of this room.
That's fine. Hey, I asked the question.
People bring up this movie. I have not seen it. I have no idea what they're talking about.
Oh.
The Goonies?
I knew you were gonna say that. I should have guessed it. I was totally gonna say it. And there's a lot of rocks in that movie too.
I have no
There's a part where
idea
they move
what
a
that
rock.
movie is
Yeah,
or
God put
about.
that rock there
And
for
I
a
have to
reason.
pretend every time I've been lying to you. Every time someone's brought this up, I'm like, oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, that
I have
movie.
no idea. In my mind, it's like a Little Rascals. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
it's an adventure,
Okay.
you know, action
Great.
adventure kind of movie.
About sports, right?
No, it's
Okay.
not about sports.
Yeah, okay.
They go into a cave, and there's a famous line about a rock in it. I think you should absolutely watch it. It's a good movie. But here's the thing: I think there are movies that if you didn't see as a kid, you
Yeah.
might not be. Because my wife has never seen The Goonies.
Okay. Oh, okay. There's two of us.
There's
I love
two
that.
of you, and
Okay.
and she's from Canada. She's born in
You
Toronto.
see? You see? Maybe you never made it across
It's
the
a
border.
Canadian.
There you go.
It didn't make it across the border.
Mm-hmm.
I also have a theory that because she grew up in the Central Time Zone, she's more mature than I am. Because shows would come on at 8, 7 Central.
Wow.
So she would watch Dallas and Dynasty and all these shows that didn't come on till 10 on the East Coast, but they were coming on at 9. So she watched a lot of mature adult.
That's real. That's
So-
real. That's a real analysis.
Thank you.
Wow.
I'm very proud of that one.
You're very smart.
Yeah.
You are very smart.
I'm pretty smart, yeah.
I enjoy you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know what's the highest when someone gives you an adjective compliment like that? Is like the funny? Is it smart? Is it bisexual?
Bisexual woman of color? Is that
so
one?
bisexual.
You're so
You're so
bisexual woman of color. I do think smart is a very nice adjective.
Yeah.
But I think more than anything else now, and I only say this because someone just texted me this on the way here, and it made me feel very warm inside. When someone says, you're very real.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. And I think it's because of the industry I'm in, that's one of the first things you're tempted to lose. Because,
Sure.
you know, you have your publicist teaching you how to say certain things, you have talking points, you have facade, you have people asking questions about what you're wearing and how you look, and you have people commenting on your body. And so the first thing you lose is realness. You go, let me manufacture something that people can say less about, right?
Persona.
Exactly.
That you can detach yourself from. They're
Exactly.
talking about this person, not
Yes.
me.
Doing that though, although it might like make your life in the industry a little easier, I think personally it's tough. You start to lose yourself, it's exhausting, you start to not enjoy things, you start to be less present. And so I really do take it as a compliment when someone says, I feel like you're being very real.
I got that vibe immediately about you.
Really?
Absolutely. Really, yes. Absolutely.
I appreciate that. I wasn't always like that. I feel like it's been hard earned. I've always tried to be real, but I did somewhere in the middle there get lost in the. I'll be honest with you. The first time I was ever on Fallon, not to keep bringing him up, but I don't remember any of our
deal.
conversation because, truthfully, I was thinking about the way I was sitting the entire time.
You think that's common though,
time.
probably, for the first time someone's on The Tonight Show.
But it's because like my stylist was like, you're wearing this outfit, you have to sit with your right leg over your left. That's how the camera looked best. And it was all these like you have to hit these talking points. I just remember sitting there being like, is my outfit in the right spot? Like, am I? And I don't remember any of that conversation. It's crazy the things that you convince yourself are important.
Right.
In moments where if you take a step back, there's something way more important.
Right.
Right, enjoying your first experience, being head in the game, you know, all those things. It's crazy. I deal with that on a daily basis.
It's become harder for me because that's what people say in stand-up too. You should find an aspect of yourself and amplify that. And then I said, well, I just want to be a real person who talks like I talk.
Right.
And if you find a thing though, you go so much further. If you create a character,
Right.
if you, whatever it is, you find a voice, you find a cadence, you find a wrinkle, you find things. But I'm like, yeah, but I'll never, stand-up comedians are the only people who can fill a stadium based on their thoughts.
Yes, exactly.
Like not even with a guitar or anything. You could stand there with a mic and they can stand there and talk. It's like you got there because of what you thought of.
Absolutely.
There's nothing else like that.
For sure.
Or 50,000 people watch you do it.
I'm also really loving how politically correct and respectful all the pronouns and everything on this podcast have been so far. It's very good.
Glad.
It's very good.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, good for you.
We've made here's the thing. So I'll be real. Well, I go by Rajiv Satyal, and my pronouns are he and him. But sometimes I go by Michael Jackson, and my pronouns are he. Anyway.
I liked it.
It was pretty strong.
I would buy a ticket.
I'm glad. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I was happy with that one.
I was concerned where you were going with that for
you're
a
like,
second.
where's it gonna go with it?
There was a moment of doubt, and then you brought it back strong.
Tell us about a time where you totally killed and the time where you totally bombed. If you want to tell both of those stories.
I feel like I'm killing it right now in this game.
No doubt.
But otherwise, totally killed.
Brag on yourself, Lilly Singh. Like, you know what? I bodied that.
I do think my first tour I did, a trip to Unicorn Island in 2015, was a time when a lot of people on YouTube were going on tours. And, they went up on stage and they did Q&As and all that stuff, and that was good and that was fun, and that's what their audience wanted. But I knew my audience was used to sketches and my parents and music and all that other stuff. I had set myself up for them to expect a lot from me. So that tour I did stand-up, I did dance, I did music, I did motivational speaking. It was a sold-out world tour. And I do think I killed that. For someone having no experience traveling like that.
Sure.
Having no experience, like I'm not formally
on a stage,
trained.
really, either.
Yeah, I'm not really formally trained in any of that stuff.
Right.
To go out there and perform the way I did. There's one show in particular that was outside of the tour. It was in India, I vividly remember, it was in Bombay. I think it was like 2017. It was YouTube Fan Fest. I was supposed to perform a music set that was 10 minutes. I had a horrible fever. I was so sick, probably the most sick I've ever been in my life.
Oh, wow.
Right before going on stage, like 104 fever. I was like, and this was before COVID, so it was just a fever, right?
Yeah.
I remember sweating. They said, Lily, you're up. I went up. I performed the best I've ever performed. I literally collapsed right after and was hospitalized the next day. And I just remember being like, I don't care if I have to put it all out there, but I killed that set.
I'm a performer. That's probably what was going through your mind. Yeah. That's your Michael Jordan flu game right there. That's your game 5. That's incredible.
A time I bombed, there's so many. One comes to mind for sure, which was, I usually am pretty good at turning on and off when it comes to my job. Like, so if you yell action on a set, doesn't matter what's happening in my personal life, I'm pretty good at being like, I'm someone else now, I'm doing something else.
Sure.
There was this one audition, breaks my heart because it was opposite of Dwayne. So obviously, it means a lot to me.
Of course, Dwayne Johnson, you guys are good friends now.
Yeah, it was opposite of him. But I was going through a really tough time. I think I had just, gotten into a fight with my family. Maybe I was like going through a tough times before I came out. And I bombed that audition so hard. I had to walk out of it without finishing.
Oh, no way!
Because I could not remember the lines. Because in my mind, I could not turn off my personal problems. So I remember feeling like crap after that. It was actually for the role in Jumanji.
Oh, wow.
The girl in the red dress.
Yeah.
So I've always beat myself up for that, but it's okay. You live and you learn. I have this little tick, if you've noticed, that I have to keep doing this every time we start.
You know, it's funny, I did not notice that, but I feel like we all have those, especially as performers. Do you have something like that before you perform?
Yes, I have to talk to the stage. I kneel down. This is a very Indian thing. I kneel down, talk to the stage, do the whole and I beat my chest.
Okay.
And then I do a very specific stretch. I don't know if the cameras can pan. I go like this.
Can you get her? Yeah.
Yeah, I go like this. You'll hear crack, then I go.
Interesting.
Because it's silly and also stretches me, but it gets me out of my head. So side stage, no matter how important and formal the event is, I don't care if there's like mad suits next to me, I'm just doing this with my butt.
This kind of like shimmy kind of thing.
100%, yep.
Can you summon your talent at will?
I'm very good at turning on and off for sure.
Okay.
If I'm super tired, like I mentioned before, but I have to go on stage, I will turn that on.
Yeah, just like with a fever.
100%.
And when you said you learned something from failure with the family thing, you said that family stuff was in your head. Mm-hmm. Do you have advice for people of like how to remove that, like how to erect that barrier when some shit's going on in your personal life and you're like, okay, now I gotta focus. Is there something specific you can do other than, just mentally focus?
Of course I can say, oh, get out of your head, meditate. I try to meditate all the time. But let's be real, some things are hard to get out of your head. Not everything can be willed away. And for that, I say the best solution to that is coming up with a solution to that problem. That's and it sounds very simple, but if you're in that fight with that person and it's consuming your mind and you've meditated and you've done all that stuff, then make amends with that person. that's what you need to do. If you're struggling, like my fitness was a big thing for a while. I've never been fit in my life.
Okay.
I've struggled with it so much. I ate horribly most of my life, bagel bites every meal, all day, every day.
I love bagel bites.
Bagel bites. No one's crapping on bagel bites, but I was always processed food. And it got to a point where in my career, it would be on my mind. And I would not feel good. I would feel lazy, and I didn't like the way my body would feel going upstairs. And it wasn't even about how I looked. It was more so about just the way I felt.
Right.
No meditation was making that go away. So literally I was like, oh, I'm not gonna will this away.
Right.
I need to come into a solution with this. And I literally, over the past 4 months, changed my whole diet, changed my activity level.
Right.
Changed just everything. And
You're looking quite fit.
thank you. I'm the most fit I've ever been in my life at this moment.
Wow.
But it was hard work. And it was because I was like, let me come up with a solution to this, because this is not something I'll be able to will away. This is a real thing that I need to address, right?
Well, the willpower is sometimes, it's not to be funny, but it's won't power, right? It's like, I'm not gonna eat bagel bites.
Yeah,
And for me, it
100%.
was always easier to not do things than do things.
Yeah.
So instead of like going to the gym, it's hard, but if you're like, okay, just don't eat bagel bites, I'm like,
100%,
okay,
yes,
I could
yes.
just not do that.
Honestly, almost all the changes I made were
Cutting things out.
controlling what I was eating rather than intensely working out.